Hey, this is Matt. Once again, we're about to the videos of the paid request. This time for Edward. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for South Park, Season 21, Episodes 9 and 10. And I'm going to be flat out and say this season has sucked ass. Sucked sweaty balls. Not the one Chef would make during the lunch. Hey kids. It's such fucking balls. I think it's a shitty fucking season. Because I'm watching this season, I'm sitting there going, I thought I would enjoy this more than the previous one. And there are moments, to be fair. But I'm like, this whole era of South Park just seems like dog shit. And for those who don't know, the whole story with me, it's not much of a story, but I grew up knowing about South Park. I would see some stuff and like, it doesn't seem like my cup of tea, but I like South Park the movie. I thought it's a musical, but it's actually catchy songs, entertaining bits of comedy. And then years went by. And then Edward was gracious enough to start sending requests for me to go through these seasons. Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, and so forth. Thank you, Edward, for your humongous generosity. I cannot thank you enough. And because of him, thanks to him, I grew to appreciate South Park more. I watched the early episodes, and at first I really liked Cartman, and then that got replaced with Butters, and I really liked the Butters character, and there's some episodes I like more than others, and whether it be some of the Halloween episodes, or when they reference like anime, or like other stuff. The ups and downs of them picking on certain celebrities, where I think certain celebrities deserved it, I think some of them didn't. Some of the fun cameos, like Cheech and Chong and others being on there. But when they got to this era where it's, Trump, and last season they thought Trump was going to lose, and then they didn't. He didn't lose, or they had to change everything. So their one continuous story got screwed up. And now they're like, it just, maybe because so many people talked about Trump and all the other stuff, and all, obviously South Park has done political humor in the past. That's nothing new. It's nothing, but at the same time, it just feels more political. Maybe that's just me, but it just felt like it got even more political. Like they can't get away from it. It's gotta be mentioned every fucking episode, which gets tiring. And like some of the side characters, like Stan doesn't have a whole lot of jack shit to do. Kyle does, especially in these two episodes. Cartman has a whole thing with Heidi that was interesting at first, and then got a bit old quick, but to be fair, that's one of the somewhat interesting parts of the season, to be fair. I didn't love every bit of the journey, but at least it's something. Kenny has disappeared to thin fucking air. Once in a while, maybe he's in the background, but then I forget about him, and the show forgets about him. Butters, I think, has been heavily underutilized. Heavily underutilized. Mr. Garrison, at times, I don't even know what the fuck his character is, because sometimes he's doing this, but then sometimes he's doing that. And like at times he seemed just inconsistent. I'm just thinking of like the previous season where he wanted to lose. No, you shouldn't vote for me, but now because he's got to be like Trump, he's doing this and this. And sometimes I don't even get what the point they're making. It's like I think I get the point they're making, which by the episode 10 is stop being the victim, stop playing the victim. But I'm like, who's playing the victim? If it's the people like bitching about Trump, okay, I can understand that. But at the same time, they still make Trump out to be, which I don't like Trump, by the way. I don't like him. But as when you have these terrorists called the whites saying Hillary would have been better, like they're being told to shut up. I'm like, no, he's got a point. Actually, the whites, which they're called the whites for a reason, I'm sorry, like the whites are, in this, are right. Hillary would not have been better either, so shut up. And maybe the point is like, hey, everyone just calm down. But at the same time, it didn't really come off the best that way. I don't know. I don't know what fans think of season 21, but like the last couple of seasons of South Park, I've not been a fan of. So episode 9, like they try to put so many stories in there, so it becomes unfocused. Like Netflix about how they push so many shows, and now they're working with Terrence and Phillip who are old. So now it's just like, which I wish they delved more into that, where it's these franchises being brought back when the people are so old, and it's like, well, actually, they don't need to be brought back because, just let the sleeping dolls lie. I wish they had pushed more into that direction. But instead, they're doing a new Netflix show, movie, whatever, with Terrence and Phillip. Meanwhile, at the school, PC principal welcomes the new vice principal, known as Strong Woman. But they don't really make fun of Strong Woman. It's just, usually it's like, okay, we're going to have a guy voice her, or Trey Barker, Matt Stone, they're going to voice her and make fun of. No, they really don't. Instead, the PC principal falls in love with her. I did like that each time he does, you hear Hootie and the Blowfish's Hold My Hand. Number one, because I like that song. So to hear that song played, I'm like, oh my god, that brings back memories. I literally had to go on YouTube and just listen to this song a few more times. It's been a while since I've heard that, but I do like that song quite a bit. Hold my hand, want you to hold my hand. But then it's like sometimes other people can hear it, but sometimes other people can't. Like it starts playing, and then people go, "Do you hear Hootie and the Blowfish?" But then there are other times where it starts playing, but no one else hears the song. Like later in the episode, I'm like, "Well, which is it? Do other people hear it or not hear it?" So while that's all going on, Kyle, which I don't blame him. I mean, I kind of agree with him. He's sick of Terrence and Phillip, and he goes, I kind of feel bad for the people being farted on, which, again, I don't know why that would be a bad thing. And the joke is and other people keep saying, you sound like your mom. Because they pretty much redo South Park the movie where they blame, instead of Kyle's mom blaming Canada, now Kyle himself blames Canada. He cuts his hair short, but then he puts on the hat, so there's really no difference anyway. And once, as part of millennials being angry, which I mean, I get that point where what was fine back then, now people look at and they want to cancel. And I'm like, that could have been the full episode about the canceling of stuff. A full episode about millennials wanting to cancel entertainment in the past, because now they're offended by it, while people enjoyed it in the past, and they were fine with it, but now they're butthurt about it. That could have been a full episode on itself, and there's so much material you could engage with on just that level alone. But they don't. At least not nearly enough as they could have, because we gotta have them talking to the president so we could get some Garrison/Trump jokes in, and then we gotta get the PC principal and Hold My Hand, and the two of them are arguing over opening the door, and they both hold hands, and they both hear Hootie and the Blowfish. Cartman and Heidi, all that stuff going on. The president then bombs Canada with a nuclear bomb in Toronto, and Kyle is horrified, and the episode ends. I'm like, man, there's a lot more you could have gotten from this cancel culture stuff. And then that's pretty much dropped in the next one. So I just think it just felt like it just tried to do too many things at once, and nothing was really that focused. And other than Hootie and the Blowfish, that was really the only joke I laughed at. Stan pretty much just joining Cartman and saying, you sound like your mom, dude. Ike Kyle's little brother is pissed off, especially at episode 10, about what happened to Canada. Butters, the only thing I remember from these two episodes, Sally, is there's a bit with PC Principal and the strong woman. They go to a restaurant. They want to go on a date, but they can't because they're co-workers, and that's frowned upon. So they bring Butters, just, oh, we're with a student. I like just like the happy expression Butters has on his face, like, just he just doesn't get what's going on. That was kind of funny to me. But then you get to episode 10. The kids are afraid of the president, and now the president is like Stephen King's It, with the red balloons, and the red balloons say "Make America Great Again," and the kids also, they reference Stranger Things, they reference It, not the good one from 1990, but the crap shitty ones. And they have these characters called the Whites, and what they're saying actually makes sense. Like, your liberal school is just trying to make you think he's scary, and you think Hillary would have been better. I'm like, it's like the whites, like, they're saying the right thing, but then it's like South Park's like, well, they're being over the top as well. But it's like, how are they being over the top? And the fact you call them the whites, trust me, it's not just white people that say that. There's a lot more other people who aren't white that say that as well. So, just saying. So that's what I mean about South Park. Like, what are you actually trying to say, man? You're saying that only white people think that? You're off the fucking path, just like you were about climate change. As I'm here in Texas with a fucking 103-degree weather. I think now 108. But climate change isn't a thing. Which they made fun of Al Gore for that, and then they, at one point, they tried to apologize, but they didn't. So, I mean, Trey Parker and Matt Stone aren't perfect either, folks. And they reference stuff like the Rotten Tomatoes, but then here's Splatty Tomato. And Garrison is out there as a president. He just asks what's his approval ratings. The kids decide to look for President Garrison. Like, the kids will, in Stranger Things, will look for something, but a lot of times in those they play like good 80s music. The running joke here is that they play bad 80s music. So it shows that, okay, it's 80s music, but not all 80s music was good. There were some bad ones. Like, that was kind of a funny running joke. It's one of the few chuckles I got with what, like the Chicago Bears Super Bowl Shuffle. Because I do remember that song. That was pretty bad. I mean, it's the Chicago Bears, like the refrigerator, singing. It's not going to be that great, but the Super Bowl Shuffle, Pac-Man Fever, among other stuff. Like, that was kind of funny. The other joke I laughed at is Garrison's in the woods, and he's right in the middle of the woods is like a little Fox News station. And he's like, "All right, they'll listen to me." And then the whites go, "Stop, it's a trap. It's a Fox News trap." Like, that was kind of funny. But then it's like, oh, thank God for the whites. And it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. Trey Parker Madison, you think the white people are defending, they're the only ones defending Trump and all this other stuff. And I'm like, do you see the president we have now? Joe Biden? I hope you went at him as harsh as you did Trump. I hope so. And again, I don't like Trump. I don't like Hillary Clinton. I don't like Joe Biden. I don't like all three. I think all three suck. So I hope you go after all three. Because all three are dumb as shit. So, hope you're being fair on that. So pretty much he gets captured, but then by Ike, and Ike's going to do something, but then Kyle be able to say something to Ike. Heidi's fed up with Cartman, and that's kind of the message, is that she's blaming Cartman, but then wait a minute, I did this as well. Stop being the victim. Breaks up with him for good. Carbon threatens himself. She's not going to listen. So finally, the Heidi Carbon stuff is gone. I actually thought that was interesting at first, but then it led to the typical, of course, Carbon's going to treat her like shit. And then now Heidi being a dickhead too, and now she's learned her ways. So now that's done. Garrison escapes. Stands like, we can't destroy him. And someone goes, it's up to the whites. Yeah, look what we got. Look how much worse it is. Look how much worse it is. And that's the whole thing. Like, maybe just I'm so sick and tired of political stuff nowadays that I don't want to watch it in retroactive way too. So yeah, I mean, this is the last of season 21. I thought it fucking sucked for the most part. There were moments early on that were fine, to be fair. So I don't know if I hate as much as season 20, but at least the second half of season 21 sucked. At the very least, the second half sucked. Because I don't think the last two episodes I was too good. Like, in the first part of season 21, I might have been fine. I can't remember, honestly, at this point. I must have been fine with something. I hope. I can't remember. I'd have to rewatch those videos. But yeah, I definitely... Obviously, overall, I did not like the season. I definitely didn't really give a shit about these two episodes. Again, I mentioned a handful of things I chuckled at. The bad 80s song, running joke. The hooting the blowfish joke. The idea that in episode 10 they find that the two co-workers are having sex and it's so sickening in this state of the world that they start puking. That was kind of funny. But I think just the stories and the whole I don't know if you want to say rapper, the subject matters, it just wasn't really for me. Yeah, I think a lot of characters, like Stan had really nothing to do. Cartman, I don't think he was really the funniest this season. He's just more annoying than anything this season. Kenny has disappeared. Butters, I thought, was underutilized. Actually, no, I'm trying. The two episodes before this, wasn't one of them the Heidi, and then it was like the other two, like Timmy and Jimmy. I actually remember not minding that one. The more I think about it, I remember not minding that one. So actually, no, maybe the last two episodes I actually didn't mind. See, that's far removed I am by these two episodes. I can't remember the last two episodes whether I liked or hated them. I just remember like it has moments of shine, but I didn't love this season. I think just because these two episodes are like, I had so little enjoyment out of them, other than little moments. I'm like, it just made like the whole season feel like a big bummer. I don't know. Either it's remind me of better things that South Park the movie with the Blame Canada stuff, or just the constant political jokes that just the same, ones I'm just tired of hearing about. Just wasn't for me. Well, it wasn't for me, I guess. Like I said, I'd have to rewatch my episode 7 and 8 reviews. I might have liked some of them, actually, now that I think about it. See, I'm just so fucking confused about everything, man. That I'm just losing it. What I said in those reviews, they're still up on the channel. I still agree with those reviews. I forgot this fucking show, man. This fucking season. I'm tired of politics and fucking entertainment, man. I know it's always been a theme, but it seems like the past 5 years just so much more gun-ho. That just so fucking old hat. Change the station on the radio or sing a different tune, please. God damn. But that's just me. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.